Good morning everyone and welcome to the video. I am coming to you from the original church on this school campus. Now, the school that I'm going to be searching around was originally founded in 1909, which is when the main building was built, and they built the other dorms and various buildings at various times over the years. And it used to be a co-ed boarding school that basically focused on grades 7 through 12, and it shut down for use as a boarding school not until 2009, so it ran for about 100 years, which is pretty amazing. But anyway, we're going to be searching around the property. There is a lot of area to cover, so I am hopeful that we will find some interesting items. So I hope you come along my journey with me as we search around the old campus and see what we can unlock. Let's get digging, shall we? First signal about 2.5 inches down in the clay, and we got a 1973 copper penny. So a good sign to start out. We'll keep at her. Okay, after searching for about 6-7 minutes so far, there seems to be a lot of coins here. And I dug a few pennies dating back to 1964, 1968. I got a nickel from 1964. This is the oldest coin so far. It's a 1963 penny. But plenty of coins in here, so I think we're going to be on to some oldies. Perfect. The ground is extremely moist right now from when we had a lot of rain, so it really softened up this clay. So it's perfect for digging here right now. We're going to get something good in a minute. I can feel it. Stand by. Alrighty, so here's the coin count for about the first 12-13 minutes or so. Tons of coins in through here. They've all been pennies, nickels, and dimes so far. They all range from the 1960s up through the 1980s. There hasn't been anything newer yet, or older, so it's kind of all right in that range at the moment. So put that back in the pouch, and here I just dug up an old pen. And I got a few pull tabs as well. But we'll keep at it. Definitely no shortage of targets. Okay, you can see how red this clay is here. Anyway, I had a signal that's highest one I've had so far, ringing up high 80s into the low 90s, and I got it here. Very shallow, but let's see if it's something good. Should be right here somewhere. Let's add it there. Yep, just a steel bottle cap chirping in. Oh well, we'll keep at it. Well, this had me going for a second. When I flipped the plug, I couldn't see the rest of it yet, and I just saw the end of it and that little silvery color there. But not sure what that is. Rang up pretty good though. Alrighty, back to the salt mines. Them cicadas are something else. They're so loud right now. But I'm still popping out the coins. I got tons of them in there already. And this is the first really interesting, I guess, non-coin find other than that pen. Got me a little padlock to iron top that's a little bit rusted. So this looks like it's probably around time period of those coins I'm finding. It's probably not much more than 40 or 50 years old. It's still pretty neat. Back at her. So I'm checking out around this little courtyard area in here. And so far, up through here, I just dug a couple pennies from the 80s down in through there. And I started looking up at the base of this tree. We got two surface finds. We got this right here, which that's a very old style pull tab, probably about 1960s or 70s on that. Put that in the pouch, but right next to it, we got a coin sitting right here, just on the surface like that. See if we can see the date on it. It's a memorial, but the relief is high on it, so it's going to be from 1959 to 1968. And they were just sitting right here on top of the clay. So I'm going to keep poking around here. We were going to find something older than the 1960s as far as the coin's concerned. It's just a matter of time. I am now looking around right underneath one of the buildings here. You can tell people have been dropping and probably throwing stuff out of these windows for a long time. There's all sorts of glass down in through here. You can see where the rain washes off the building and drips down and through here. It's kind of washed all this out. Right down there, I just got one of those high relief pennies that's really crusty. It's going to be 1959 to 1968, so I'm hoping there's some older stuff in through here. It's getting dark now, but I'm going to have to do some eyeballing and see if there's anything interesting in here. But for now, we're going to keep looking. It's getting pretty dark on me here. We're going to have to resume tomorrow after about 20 minutes, but working our way back 1 year at a time. 1961, that's the oldest one so far. Seems like this little wing here, toward the end, by this dorm right here, there's a ton of copper pennies and like some nickels and stuff like that, all in through here. So I'm going to keep going through here. I've picked out a bunch of coins from the 60s up until the early 90s up and through here, and got that 1961 now. This is where I'm finding most of the coins, so I think we're going to hang out here. Well, let's hold it up to the sky here, because it's the only place that there's a little bit of light left. But it seems like right here before dark, about an hour and a half in, I know you won't be able to see it, but it's my first wheat penny. I had to spit on it to be able to tell and rub it off. I could see the wheat ears on the back, so we'll have to clean that up here in a little bit and see what the date is. That shows us the oldies are down here, just mixed in with all that clad from the 60s up and through the 90s. So I'm finished up now. I was digging some coins in the dark around the little street lights, and check out this massive slug. Yeah, it's a huge one. It's not going to show up real good. Try to get away from my shadow there. There we go. I gotta keep it down because it's getting light. But this is where I'm showering tonight. I am in the old dorm bathroom. See the stalls? Yeah. Crazy. It's got the original sliding windows, the old sinks, everything is crazy. The plaster is not in great shape, but we're gonna make do. This is where I'll be showering, so I guess it's time to get naked. So don't be shy. Come on in my humble abode. I'm trying to be quiet because it's late here, and I think there's at least one other person staying here. So, yeah, what do you think? My legit college dorm room for 2 nights. So let me swish around this way and show it to you. The whole place is just yellow. They painted everything yellow. And got the usual drab pictures, the type you see in Goodwill that no one buys. Yeah, this reminds me of a place I had to stay once. I went to get away for a while. Went to a conference my dad went to in New Jersey, and I had to stay in this like Catholic dormitory. It kind of reminds me of that. So yeah, I got this dorm for the next 2 nights. There's just like a little desk here. The 2 small beds. I'm probably going to take this one on the side here. A little chair and another little desk. Oh yeah, and go figure. They gave me the place with somebody's I can't talk, ashes in it. Alright, so we're going to open it up. Please don't be somebody in there. Alright, it's empty. That's good news. Okay, so no TV, no books, no nothing. So it's about 9:30. Good thing is I have self-service. I can poke around on that a little bit. But other than that, there ain't nothing to do in here. So I guess I will, I have no idea. I'll probably poke around my phone and go to bed in like a half hour. Oh, let me show you this. Here are the... Come on. Lights are dull. Can't even do a wrap up in here. No sink. Can't clean stuff up. Here's all the coins. I must have dug 60 coins in 2 hours out from around the dorms here. And all the skull buildings. But, oh yeah, we gotta clean up the weedy. I think I'm gonna run over to the bathroom. Hold on a second. I am back from the bathroom, and we are in the light of this magnificent lamp. And here is the weedy cleaned up. It is a 1944. Still got a little bit of clay on it there. But yeah, it's like really black. Man, the coins coming out of the ground here, even the modern ones, are in terrible condition. But it's definitely a time capsule here. Almost all the coins I dug are from the 1940s, including this, up until the 80s. I only dug like one or two coins from the 90s. Not too shabby. Okay, so I got it all laid out here. Apart from some trash, this is everything I got in about 2 hours of looking around the dorms. We got a brass hinge, that padlock, the old pen, and then we have 37 pennies, including the 1944 wheat, and I put this one here because that is the only zinc I found. The rest are all copper. So this is, and that one's 1984, and we got 8 nickels, 9 dimes, and 2 quarters, so it's kind of like a time capsule, because that's the newest coin I found, 1990. So all of these coins here, minus the wheat penny, range from 1961 to 1990. So all kind of in like that 30-year span there. And then the wheat warps back a little bit. So pretty interesting spot. Hopefully we can get onto some goodies on the next run. Day 2. Metal detecting around the dorms. The old school buildings. And I've been out here like 5 minutes, just dug a little bit of trash in a 1982 penny so far. And working this little washed out area right here. And I got a coin right on the surface. It appears to be a dime. Doesn't look like one that's too old. 1971. Still staying in that range. We're not digging any coins from the last like 20, 25 years or so. It's all the older clad. So I think we're going to get us some goodies today. It's really hot out here, so I'm going to stick to the shade for a while. But plenty of areas to scout. Okay, so it's been about maybe almost half an hour since I've last had the camera on. Just scouting all over, and still haven't been able to find anything older than the 1960s today. But I just pulled up a dime from 1967 that's really crusty. But as soon as we get some shade here, I'm going to head down into this old sports field, thinking maybe there's some old coins or jewelry down in there if it hasn't been graded too much over the years. But let's quickly show you what I got here in the first 45 minutes or so today. Plenty of coins again, no shortage of those, just nothing too much of interest. I did get someone's dog leash with that, you know, the big brass clamp on the end, lobster claw giving off the signal, and a few doodads like that, but nothing too fascinating. It's one of the main buildings right here. And worked around there a little bit, just found a few modern pennies, and working around the top of this field now, going down the slope over the side. Back in the day, probably would have been a lot of people hanging out on this hillside. Pulled that dime right there, 1967, down about 2-3 inches, pretty crusty. Definitely been there a while. We'll keep at it. Okay, so I'm in behind one of the main buildings right now. Just kind of looking down and through here because it's shaded. And I didn't turn the camera on for this. Digging a lot of coins from the 70s and 80s right in through here, and there's another crusty dime, which I assume is from around the same period. But I wanted to show this. This is pretty cool. I'm not sure if this grew around something or what, but this is actually kind of like a root that grew in a circle right there. That's really neat, and you can see that water stays in there because it's really damp. But it kind of grew in a circle and made a little pool. That's really bizarre. I wonder if there's something metallic down there. Maybe it was forced to kind of grow around. But I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Just figured I'd show that because I came over here, I was thinking, oh, I thought it was something metal, you know, like a cover or something. I'm like, no, that's tree roots. It's pretty weird. All right, we'll keep looking around. Got to be some other stuff in here. I'm skipping all the mid-tones because this place is littered with like pull tabs and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm sure there's some jewelry in that range in here, but there's just so many of those signals. Man, it'd wear you out to dig them all out. Digging all these coins out is wearing me out enough. But apart from those funky, weird pull tab mid-tones, I mean, it's just almost nothing but coins from the 60s through the 80s in here and early 90s. That's mostly what's here. It's kind of interesting, but I will persevere. We'll get something interesting today. Oh, that was pretty weird. There's that thing I was just showing. There's definitely some iron down there, for sure. Then you come over here, and there's another smaller one here. See that circle? That's all root. It's pretty interesting. And there's a slug. I guess kind of made his home down in there. Here, I'll check him out. Yeah, really strange though. I don't know why these roots are growing in a circle around this tree. No idea. It's a hemlock. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I'm really not sure. But I guess it's just those two. I don't see anything else like that around the other side. Actually, yeah, these are kind of raised up, but it's kind of the same pattern. Oh, it must have to do with the type of tree. I never really knew that the roots grew in circles like this. There has to be something to that. That is really, really odd. Huh. Answers in the comments, please. This is so weird down here. You can see they got all the solar panels. But check out the abandoned entrance to this old sports field. That is crazy. Just goes right down here, right out to the field. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's been chipped up quite a bit, especially toward the bottom here. You would figure there's got to be some old targets around here. Maybe take the metal detector up around the edges of these steps and down into the base of this field. Got to be something out here. At least I would think so. Let's get at it. I think we're going to find something. There's the steps to nowhere now. But I walked about maybe 10 yards out, hit a signal, and we got a nickel. I can't really tell the date on it because it's really corroded. So I'm not sure if it's one of the older Jeffersons, but I'll have to take a look at it more later. But to find out that out here in the middle of nowhere, that gives us hope. Hopefully they didn't move the dirt too much in this field over the years. I'd love to find some old jewelry out here. I guarantee there's some old jewelry left in this field because I assume the people that have metal detected here in the past, which I'm certain people have, they left all these low tones that are all these old style pull tabs. These ones are mostly like from the 1970s and 1980s, but they're everywhere. So I was just digging them as test holes just to see what the targets were. I got that nickel. Now I got a signal that's in this little ball here that sounded more like a coin, like a penny or a dime. So we're going to crack this open and see what it is. Oh, there's the imprint right there. It's a memorial penny, but it is copper. Yep, dropped it. Can't pick it up. Yeah, that's one of the older ones. It's got the high relief on it. 1959 to 1968, somewhere in that range. See, I'm going to work this field because there is a potential to be some old gold rings down here and old coins as well. So we're just going to start digging these targets out and see what comes up. Boy, is it hot out here in this field. There's the steps over here. But yeah, all in this front section here, pull tabs everywhere and a few coins mixed in as well. Yep, I think we're right where I want to be. I just dug that old penny out right over here. I looked at it closer. It looked like 1964. Had a similar signal about 3 inches away from it, and this is an old coin spill. It says, I just pulled out another penny, and this one's 1963. And the wind just picked up. And this field's perfect for detecting because it's real low lying. We had a ton of rain the other day come through here before I got here, and it's all waterlogged out through the center. So up on the slopes here, it's just like perfect digging. Soil's nice and moist, but not too wet. Perfect type of weather to get the good signals in here. Well, still out here in this sports field, I got another coin spill. Just pulled a dime out of here, and right out of there came a nickel. The nickel's 1983, the dime's 1977. So man, this clad's been down here for a long time. Most likely. Horsefly on me. Gotta be a piece of silver or gold in here somewhere. We'll keep working at it. Well, I got an interesting find here that I dug because it rang up a little bit below the copper pennies. I thought it could be an old wheat penny. I got about 3 inches down, right in the middle of this field. You can see they put some of the old soccer goalposts over on the edge by the woods over there. I'm right in the middle now where the grass is really high and it's a little bit more waterlogged. The higher points are okay, but there's some places where you get your foot gets soaked if you step in it. But with a piece of a compass here, I think that might have gone off of the back of like a knife or something, like a multi-tool. It's pretty interesting. Let's keep looking. Okay, I'm back down in the swamp section. It's super wet here. It's been about 10 minutes. It's over here where I found a couple of them old coin spills, so just been working the whole way down this end. Seems like there's more coins over here toward the front, about halfway to the road. Right here I got a 1964 penny. There's a signal next to it. Looks like we got another old coin spill. It's another penny. Let me clean it off. We'll see the year, see if there's another old spill. Yeah, 1964, 1969, so probably been down there since the 1970s. I like how there's these coins out here in the field. I'm just surprised I'm not hitting anything older. The place I'm hunting is definitely old enough, that's for sure. Okay guys, so I'm back in the dorm room now. Man, it is hot outside. It's like 90 degrees and humid. I didn't make it more than 2 hours out there this morning, maybe 2.5, and had to take another shower because I was drenched head to toe. So I took a break, ran to get a Gatorade at Walmart, some ice cream, and feeling good now. I'm feeling good. And hey, I found 11 cents in the coin store at Walmart, but they weren't old. But anyway, let's show you guys this real quick. I set out the finds from the first half of today's hunt, which is right here, minus all the the trash, all that kind of stuff. But that was yesterday, just a couple hours before dark. This was about 2 to 2.5 hours today, scouting random areas of the property. Got a bunch of pennies, a couple nickels, quite a few dimes, and a couple quarters. And a lot of coins from the 1960s in the pennies, and a few of them in the dimes. So there's some older stuff here. I just got to keep working at it, keep looking for a hot spot. Then I got I didn't show on camera, I got a fishing sinker and that end of a compass. So that's what I got so far. So I'm going to rest up here a little bit, and I think I'm going to go back out and give it another try this evening. There's got to be more here. Let me show you my view from out the window here. Yep, that's one of the ones. In the front of that one is where I was finding a lot of the coins last night. I was hunting around these street lights after dark for a little bit. There you go. Let's give her another shot. What a view from up here. And I'm so glad these thick clouds are rolling in. It was so hot out earlier. But I'm back out, kind of on the top of the hill here, overlooking all the dorms and school buildings. And they've got some old equipment up here for kind of like an obstacle course and exercise stuff up here. I got a nickel from the 80s down over there, not a lot of signals. Had one right here, about 3.5 inches deep, solid signal. Check it out, you got a wheat penny. And I added up all the coins from yesterday and earlier today, and I dug about 5 more now. I started down around the side of, in between those dorms right there. And this is coin number 96, and that's the second wheat penny. So since I found an old coin right here, I'm going to grid off this area back and forth with about a 10-yard radius around where I found this, and hopefully it's got some friends. I can't see the date on it yet. Everything up here is really caked with dirt. I'm starting to work down toward this old abandoned basketball court, and I wanted to show you guys how thick the clay is here and how hard-packed of an imprint it makes. That's the memorial penny I just dug out of the clay here, copper one. You can see the imprint there and where I pulled that off. you can see the actual Lincoln Memorial just stamped into the clay. It's pretty crazy. That's how hard packed they are down in here. Just came off there just like that. All right, we'll keep looking for more. It's actually quite remarkable that the net is still here. It's in a very rural area. If this would have been in an urban environment, somebody would have tore this up a long time ago, but the skull hasn't been in use since 2009. So I guess that's at least a 9-year-old net. Check out all this moss growing on it. That's crazy. I forget what that stuff's called exactly. But yeah, that's something else. Shot it through hoops in it, and it didn't come down, but this one here is barely hanging on. So from walking down here, my feet are completely drenched. They do not cut the grass very well around this abandoned court. But anyway, I didn't see this before. The free throw line's still there, just barely. Not sure how well you can see that on camera, but you can see the blue paint in a line there. And it looks like you can see kind of faint remnants of the 3-point line. Here's the blue. And it looks like somebody might have done a white line at some point here. It looks like it's a little bit too close, so maybe they just kind of did it like a makeshift 3-point line for the kids. But anyway, I got my GoPro here and my chest mount, so I'm going to strap the chest mount on, and we're going to see how many free throws we can make in a row. So let me get this hooked up and we'll get started. Hey guys, I am back in the dorm and I am completely drenched. I'm gonna stop spinning you, I just wanted to show you around. So anyhow, look how dirty I am. I am a complete mess. But anyway, for those shots, let me tell you what happened. So I decided I was gonna see as many as I can make in a row, and I did like 3 in a row, 6 in a row, 7 in a row. I'm like, I gotta do at least 10 for the video. So as you saw in the clip, I did 15 shots in a row, except when I bent down to pick one over, the GoPro kind of like pointed down at the ground, so you couldn't see like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 of the shots. So I made 15 in a row, but I'm like, man, I may as well stick around and try to get it better, because you couldn't see a couple of the shots. So about a couple minutes after that, I got into the zone and I made 24 in a row. The problem is I was checking the settings and watching the footage back of when I made the 15, and I had it set on still shot. So here, I took a still photo and then I made 24 in a row and it wasn't on camera. So then I'm like, I gotta keep trying again. So I kept going and going, and then the sun came out and I started sweating and there were bugs everywhere, and you could see how the quartz, like really when I would make a shot, it lands in like a damp area and it's real gravelly, so it's not good shooting conditions. So I spent the next half hour out there trying to make 24 or more in a row and couldn't do it, so I just kept filming while I did it, and I filmed me making, I think, something like 88 out of 108. When I got to 100, I kept going until I missed. So I made about 88 out of 108 free throws, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that footage raw up onto my secondary channel, JD Uncensored, if you want to watch that. And we'll do a video in the future trying to make more free throws in a row. My record I've done in better conditions, obviously. I've done 70 consecutive, and I've done 97 out of 100 before. So that's pretty awesome, and my record for 3-point shots is 34 consecutive. So in the future, I'll find a good spot and we'll do it with the GoPro, see if we can break my old records from when I was in really in shape, see if we can make 100 consecutive. I'd love to do that on the channel. Maybe we'll make a video out of it when I hit 200,000 subscribers. I will stay and shoot hoops and keep practicing until I make 100 in a row. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. So now I gotta take my 4th shower in 2 days. It is so miserably hot out there. So back into the dorm hallway shower thingy I go. Okay, I worked my way down toward the bottom. I'm on the right wing, way in back, around this one here, and I think I may have coin number 100, so we're gonna finish this one live. Sounded like a copper penny. We're gonna finish it live. I don't have my little hand digger, so I got my little sword here. Here we go. Uncovered them right there. Coin number 100. It's a copper penny. And the date on it is going to be... looks like 1978 or something like that. Can't see it real well. Alrighty, coin number 100. Let's keep going. I want to get some jewelry or some more oldies. I know there's more down here. Okay, still working around here on the bottom end now. Way down from the basketball hoops. Picked up 3 copper pennies over this way. The oldest one was 1964. And I got a signal here. We're going to try one live, because if I am going to find a silver coin at this location, this is probably going to be the one. It's kind of like a little bit of a deeper one, bouncing around 90. Once in a while it thunks a little bit, and the tone changes a little bit, so it may just be trash. But this could be the one, so we're going to try one live here. Why not? Very thick red clay right here. Ooh, bugging my forehead. If it wouldn't have rained a lot yesterday, this digging would have been absolutely brutal. And this is clay, like what you see right here. This is clay when it's completely saturated. You can only tell the difference if it's kind of side by side. It doesn't look wet, but it is. Yeah, not very deep. The grass was higher there, that could be why. Uh-oh. Oh, that's why it rang up weird. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. Some kind of pot metal. Kind of weird though. Gave off a nice signal, but like I said, the tone changed when you turn different directions, which sometimes means not a coin. But oh well, back at it. Whew, alrighty. So I'm still here in the front. And anyway, One of the arrangements for me searching the property here is if I find anything historic in nature, that I'm supposed to turn it into the foundation that owns this school now. Because this property that all these school buildings were built on goes back to the 1700s. It was an old plantation property that's on like 1,400 acres, and they built the main building here. That one's 1920, but they built one of the main buildings in 1909. And also in this area there was a lot of Native American activity. So if I find any like arrowheads walking around, I'm supposed to turn those in too. But I haven't found anything historic yet. And the oldest stuff I've been able to find have been the 2 wheat pennies. But pretty deep here right in front, I got something pretty funny. I got one of the real primitive, old school pieces of a digital watch. It says Armitron, A-R-M-I-T-R-O-N. So I don't know. That's probably from like the late 80s or the early 90s. Something like that. But we'll put it in the cap pouch and keep looking. I'm up to about maybe 102 coins now. So I'll just keep slugging it out. And I just spoke to one of the board members here, a lady that was real nice, and said that I'm obviously not the first person here, which I knew. I knew this place would have been metal detected in the past. I mean, how could you not be interested in looking around here? So I'm I guess picking up the scraps that other people have missed over the years. Been a lot of groundwork too, because as an actual school, this was actually operating until 2009. So over the years they've redone a lot of different pipes and added a lot of fill dirt and stuff like that. So it's all about just working my way around the property and finding the hot spots, but haven't really been many. Just scattered all over the place, but I'll get back at you when we find something else. I'm all tongue-tied today. Okay, I had a deep high tone that was kind of thunky. Now, I'm working right here next to where this is paved, and down here at the bottom of the slope by this dorm. Now, I'm working this really good because the soil is nice and soft here. And it was last night that I found my first wheat penny, kind of right on this edge here, and there was a lot of other coins from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I'm kind of working this real good in through here. And I hope this is something interesting and not just like a knockout or something. But I got a big piece of round aluminum down in the hole, and I'm hoping this is an old token. It almost looks like a good luck token, but I don't know. There's a hole through it. I think it just corroded the whole way through. It kind of looks like one of the old tokens, though. I don't know. I'm gonna clean it up a minute and I'll let you guys know. Alrighty, well, it definitely is an old token. You can see what looks to be a flag on it right there in the second. This is one of the big aluminum good luck tokens, so that is really cool. These designs normally have lettering around the edges. They're customizable, so sometimes it has like somebody's name and address or like a message to someone else. So that could be pretty cool. I'll clean it up later. Doesn't look like it's going to be in the greatest of condition, but that may not actually be. I don't think that's corroded through the center. Some of these have punch outs in them. You can see down here, might just be caked with dirt. So we'll clean that up. That's going to be a good find right there. Gives me hope in this section. That's a cool find. You can kind of see on the back, it's kind of like a star design, and then it'll have some punch outs running around it. Very cool. So here we have the good luck token cleaned up. Not in the best shape, but not too bad for aluminum. But you can see it does have a name on it. It says Richard McCavern, M-C-A-V-E-R-N. And it says Macon on it, which, if I remember correctly, is a city in Georgia. Never been there myself. But I was hunting in North Carolina, so this isn't too far away from home. And it does say good luck on the middle. And the luck part is kind of corroded off, but it has the 4-leaf clover. And on the reverse, or the back side, it has a flag with a pretty basic design running around the edge. Now, on some of these pre-World War II good luck tokens, they still had the swastika on them as a symbol of good luck, which is how it was presented in the United States in a lot of old advertising and customizable pieces such as this. But historically, prior to that, it had many different uses that span way back. So pretty interesting find, and it would be interesting to find out if it's possible that this person is one of these students that had attended that boarding school. So I'll have to keep you all posted on that if I can figure that out. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. Gosh, I just love the way these magnolia trees set in between the old buildings here. They always look so majestic. And especially when you can find the older ones, you can find a lot of good stuff underneath them. I found a lot of treasures under old magnolia trees in the past, especially in people's yards, because they provided a lot of shade in the hot southern summers. Okay, I just got something interesting. I'm really not sure what it is. It's some type of tool. It's aluminum and something box 44. You can see here it says remove blade here. I'm not sure exactly what that is used for. Somebody will definitely know. So please comment on that one. Kind of interesting anyway. I mean, since it's aluminum, it's not going to be super old. That kind of looks like 1970s-ish, which is a lot of what the coins are from around here, 1970s and 80s, probably around that time period. But yeah, finding a lot of interesting targets down around that token I found. You hear that thunder? Oh boy, it's coming. But that's good, man. This cloud cover is awesome. It was so hot earlier today. Welcome back to the dorm, guys. Here we are again, waiting for the rain to pass. Man, that thunderstorm came in with a vengeance. But anyway, may as well do a quick update. I'm going to try to get back out, but man, the mosquitoes around here are huge. They were really bad last night, so this rain is going to make it extra worse this evening. So we'll see if I can get out some more. But this is hunt number 3. It probably took me about an hour and a half-ish to find this stuff here. Maybe not quite that long, but between an hour and a half. But we got some more clad coins, of course, pennies, because this is the skull of pennies. Those are all pennies, those are pennies, and those are pennies. Just tons of them. So we got some copper pennies, a couple nickels, 1 dime, 1 quarter. The good luck token I got to clean up here yet. The wheat penny turned out to be a 1945. Then we got that digital watch frame and that aluminum toll thingy. So that's about it for the third portion of this hunt, and hopefully we can get back out there. Looks like this rain's going to blow over in about 10 minutes. It is really wet here now after that thunderstorm. But I'm going to show you guys around here a minute. This is an awesome place. Check out this. Somebody will have to translate that for me. Would have been an interesting place to go to school, that's for sure. But anywho, you'll think I'm hilarious, but I don't want to get my feet drenched at the moment, so I'm waiting until the grass dries off a little bit. So I'm just like standing on the sidewalks here and swinging the detector up over the grass, because in this middle section here, between all these different buildings, there's been a lot of copper pennies and a lot of coins, mostly from the 1970s and 80s. So I'm literally finding them just swinging my detector over the side. So up there I just pulled out a 1972, I think, copper penny right there. And I heard other signals too. So I'm going to work my way down this line and probably within about 10 minutes I'll be back down where I found most of my old stuff. Alrighty, a minute ago I just got a 1977 dime and 64 penny in the same hole. Now I got something cool here. Now for a split second I was going to skip this signal because there's a lot of signals in here that are like toward the surface and they're trashy and the tone kind of smears, you know, just like pieces of cans and stuff like that. But when I heard this one, I'm like, oh, it's more solid, I gotta dig it. And check it out, it's gonna be something interesting. First, when I popped the plug, I saw that huge imprint and I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be a big coin. It's not a coin, you can see it fell off here, but it looks like, oh, it looks like an old fob. That's pretty cool. Can't read it through the mud there, but that is pretty neat. Oh, and it says something on the back here too, but I'll have to clean it up with that mud. Not going to be able to read it. But yeah, an old watch fob. Does that say Cadillac? I think that's what that might be. Huh. Alright, well that'll be something to clean up later. Finally, a really cool relic. Awesome. Let's keep hunting. So I was correct. The fob is a Cadillac fob. And you can see it still has some of that red enameling down in there. Pretty interesting. It's a bit corroded, but not too bad. When I have some water on it, the detail pops a little bit more. But yeah, an old Cadillac fob. And you can see here on the back, it says Northland, made in England. Don't find too many things made in England here in the States. So that is pretty interesting. Definitely collectible there. I'm happy to have that. Oh snap. Looks like I just dug me up a knife. That is pretty crazy. What in the world is this doing out here? Man, it's really heavy. That's why it rang in good. It's like chrome plated, like a pot metal base. Dang. That's why you wear gloves while you're metal detecting. Huh. That is really interesting right there. Pretty sure that's just a stainless blade. But wonder how long that's been down there. If anybody knows how old this is by chance, let me know. It doesn't look super old, but you know, probably could be potentially as old as the other stuff I'm finding, which is mostly between the 1960s and 80s. So probably around in there. But alright, that's not going to fit in the pouch real well. Might have to run that up to my car. Okay, I had another nice high conductive signal that I knew was a little bit bigger. I got something weird. I don't know what it is, but man, check out that huge imprint it left. I don't know what on earth it is. What in the world? Oh my gosh, you see it? It's a unicorn. That is crazy. What in the world? It's heavy. It's not lead. It's gotta be brass or copper. Found me a copper unicorn. That is bizarre. I guess it was worn as a pendant, but man, it'd be really heavy to be wearing on your neck. Huh. This is the interesting section here. This is where I found that one wheat penny and that good luck token earlier. Now we got a Cadillac fob, a unicorn pendant, and a knife to go with it. Oh, look, see that mosquito? Gotcha! Did I get him? Oh, I did. I got him. Sweet. Mosquitoes out here driving me nuts. But sweet. Got me a unicorn. So this is definitely something that I least expected to find. It is a huge, solid brass unicorn pendant. I can't imagine wearing this around my neck with how heavy it is. But you can see some of the yellow portions there where the brass is showing through. But that is really interesting. If I had to guess, that's got to be from the 1970s or so, give or take. But really interesting. Probably dropped by one of the students there. Very happy to have this for the collection. Okay, so in front of this dorm here, it's been the hot spot. I mean, I found most of my old stuff in this section, and there are so many copper pennies from like the 70s and early 80s in here that I just have to keep skipping them. I mean, because they ring up the same way, and every time you hit one, you're like, oh, not another penny. I mean, I just skipped like 12 of them. There's so many of them in here. But anyway, I got one that sounded a little bit better, and it had some depth on it. And you can see here these pebbles. That's like a little bit of fill, like they put in kind of around the drive and stuff like that. So it ends up in random spots around here. But I hit that, and this is the first target I've had that's like under that pebble layer that's mixed in. So I'm like, oh, this might be older. And voila, pulled out this really crusty disc. But this time it's just not your run-of-the-mill copper penny. That is indeed a wheat cent. It's really crusty, but we will clean it up later. So alrighty. I'm just gonna stay put in this area and keep popping targets, because it seems to be where most of the cool stuff's coming. So right down in here in these pebbles that ended up in here in front of the dorm, which is some of the fill that they put in around the drive areas, almost right on top, just sitting right there, 1967. So yeah, these coins back to the 60s, 50s, and 40s. There's some flukes mixed in here and at various depths, but you just never know. We'll keep combing it. It's got to be more. There's a bunch of these crickets down in here. Let's get him out for you. There you go. Don't for the camera. Just trying to focus on this. Alright, let's dig this target out. May as well. He's just chilling out there. Come on, dude. Move. I don't want to smush you. Get out of here. Yep, there he goes. He jumped off my finger. He's over there now. Coming behind this. Here we go. Popped right out the side when I did that. Another copper penny. Looks like 1974. Let's keep going. There are so many copper pennies here. Gosh, this had me. It had another decent signal. I saw the edge of that, and I don't know, it's like dry. It looks like a dull white. I thought it had a silver, but it's just another penny. Yeah, probably another 70s copper. All right, well that had me. Dull edge, of corroded edge of that, especially because we had rain. It just was in dry. It was in dry soil with them pebbles right there, and I saw the edge of it. It was like a dull white. I'm like, oh, I got a silver dime. No, I didn't. I am a sloppy mess, and I'm destroying my camera too. But here's an illusion for you. I thought this was pretty cool. Right down there, it looks like 1, 2, 3 pennies in the hole. But what I think happened here, I think it's one penny. I think that's one side of the imprint. That's the penny, and this was the top of the imprint, and then it like rolled off of here, down there, and the other half of the imprint broke off there. Because this is just the imprint. That's not a coin. This is just part of an imprint. You know, it broke, but that's not a coin. This is a coin. Another copper penny, but just in case there is another one in there, we'll check with the pinpointer. Yeah, that was just an illusion. The way it broke apart and fell into the hole, it looked like 3 pennies. But it was just uno. Well, it looks like we have our answer as to why most of the finds over here are from the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. You're going to see in just a second. But obviously, people have not metal detected this around this dorm very much at all. There you go. M. George Henry Hall, built in 1966. So, that would explain everything in here from the 60s up and through the 80s, which seems to be when there was the most activity going on around here, because it's mostly copper pennies. There's I'm skipping all the zinc-like signals, but there's a ton more copper than zinc sounds in here. We got the few Wheaties, some of those interesting relics. So it's been pretty good. And obviously down this way the buildings are a lot older, but there's like nothing over there other than a few modern coins. There's been a ton of groundwork, and I would assume that people that have metal detected here in the past focused around the older buildings. But I spent a long time over there over the last day or so, and just nothing over there. It's right in this patch here is where I'm finding most of the stuff, most of the good stuff. So we're gonna stick it out. But I'm absolutely saturated, so probably about 10 more minutes and we're gonna wrap it up for today. You gotta love when you have a nice big juicy quarter sticking on the end of your shovel like that. These imprints are awesome down in this moist clay. You look for some darkened soil when you open up your hole, and you know that where your target gonna be. Well, I'm in the little dorm lobby here, getting ready to head out. Ooh, we got ourselves a piano. I can't play piano, otherwise I would play you guys a beautiful tune. But if I tried, it'd be very terrible for the video, so we'll skip that. I got the little breakfast area here, the refrigerator, some cold water in there. There were a bunch more in there, but it's been so hot I drank like 4 of them the past 2 days here. We got some energy bars, some apples. So yeah, it's about time to hit the road. But I've had a good time here. So let's get going. Treasure awaits. So I decided to lay everything out here before I take off out of the dorm. This is a total of 4 different hunts over the past 2 days, probably about 7 hours or so of metal detecting. And I found 138 coins, that includes the 3 wheat pennies. And I got a bunch of little relic bits to go along with it, so not too shabby. So thanks everyone for coming on my adventure with me, and I'll see you on the next one.